Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Shanae Nicole, his millennial housewife. Before we go any further, make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. But today we're talking all about enhancing your natural beauty. I just want to encourage you guys because I know during this time you might be feeling real busted. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just going to give you a few tips of how you can enhance the beauty that you already have, but do it naturally. Let's get right into it. So point number one is smile. When we smile, y'all, it just brightens up our faces. Check it out. How I look like this, and then when I go like this. you know it automatically just softens your face. You've heard where when you smile you use less muscles. It's like an instant facelift rather than when you're frowning and you look mad all the time. And it's easier to look like that, especially if you have a heavy heart. The Bible talks about a glad heart makes a cheerful face. But when you're not feeling good on the inside, it's hard for you to force a smile on the outside. So you may have to get into the word more. You may have to kind of stir yourself up. We all have good days and bad days, but when we smile, we instantly bring out that inner beauty. The smile on your face looks so much better than the frown on your face. And it's funny because when I used to be out, sometimes ladies, y'all probably know, have you heard of a guy, they see you and they like, why don't you smile? And they really, I'm like, why don't you shut up? You don't really want to hear that because, inside you may not even be feeling down. You might just be being, you know what I'm saying? You're not necessarily trying to look a certain type of way, but it's noticeable when you're not smiling. And not only is it good for you and your beauty, but it can bring happiness and it can bring comfort to someone else. When you smile at someone else and they could be frowning, and it's like when they see that you're happy, they be like, oh, we smiling? All right, cool. So you just never know. And we're supposed to reflect the joy of the Lord anyway, because we are ambassadors for Christ. So that's the first way to enhance your beauty. Way number two that you can enhance your beauty naturally is drink water. Ladies, we need to be drinking our water. When we drink water, we enhance our beauty. We bring out our natural beauty. Why? Because when we drink water, it's flushing out the toxins in our body. There's so many statistics and things like that of how many people really are dehydrated on a consistent basis. And not only is it bad for our health, but it's bad for our skin, bad for our hair and nails. And these are things that we want thriving and flourishing. So you want to make sure that you're drinking your water, ladies. I know it's not the best thing that you can think of to drink, but honestly, it's one of my favorite drinks. I don't drink a whole lot of different flavored things, so water has always been like my go-to drink. And if that's not you, you can kind of teach yourself to start drinking more water. Maybe drink a glass in the morning, a glass at lunch, and a glass in the evening. That's not anywhere near the recommendations for your water intake, but you got to start somewhere, right? If you're not really drinking it at all, just start incorporating it at each meal, and then start to build up from there. So that is one way that you can just enhance your beauty. Number three, y'all know what's coming for y'all. The way to enhance your beauty is to exercise. So no matter what shape you are, exercising enhances your beauty. And I say that because it enhances your confidence, right? For me, when I first had my son, and I went a point in time where I wasn't exercising, and just when I first started back, I couldn't really do a whole lot of things, but as I stayed consistent, I didn't necessarily look different, but I started to feel different. I started to feel a little more confident, and once I started doing that, I started feeling like more attractive. I wanted to be around my husband more and stuff like that, but it wasn't necessarily that I changed yet, but it was just my mindset changed. Why? Because now I'm loving my body. I'm showing my body love, my temple matters, right? I'm not just putting things into my body, putting junk into my body that isn't doing me any good. I'm actually starting to put things in my body that's good for me. And when I exercise, I'm moving, you know. Not only that, but over time, you know, you're going to see the results of that, right? You're gonna start actually looking different. You're gonna start looking better, not just feeling better. So this is a way, guys, that you could just enhance your beauty naturally. And this, I didn't say instantly. I said naturally. So it'll take time, but you want to invest in yourselves in this way. We invest so much money into how we look on the outside, but we kind of ignore, I think, this particular tip, you know. So I just want to encourage you guys to get moving. Your body will thank you, and it's a good service unto God, because we're being good stewards. The next point is give a compliment. Ironically, this is crazy because it doesn't really have anything to do with you. You're actually giving something. But I think it's nothing that can be more beautiful when you actually are secure enough to compliment another person, especially when it's another woman, right? Because being honest, we see a lot of attractive women throughout the day. That we see them, they look good in their clothes, their hair might look really nice, and whether we know them or not, you know, we might not give them the compliment. We might not actually say it, or we might, you know, have a thought like, you know. But I encourage you all to give the compliment. It will do something for you, not necessarily for them, because it's, you know, they can receive it or they may not, you know. But you just stepping out there and giving the compliment, it shows that you're secure in who you are. You know, your compliment doesn't take away in any way from you, right? Because it's not a comparison. So I just want to encourage you, the next time you see something, I mean, you may not be able to do this now because we're in that social distancing phase, but I mean, you can do it on social media. You know, how many times do you scroll past posts and you might like it, you might watch the whole video, but you won't hit the like button? You know, it's like, really? you a ghost follower? So don't be afraid to go ahead and like the picture if it's something that, you know, you like, or comment like, man, this looks good on you, you're looking good. You know what I'm saying? It enhances your beauty when you do that. And not only that, but be able to receive the compliment. You know, first, before I say that, make sure your compliments are genuine. You know, you don't have to force anything. So if you don't like something about somebody, don't say anything, you know. Or, you know, you give the compliment, but you give a backhand, you know. It's like, yeah, your hair is cute, girl. I mean, I wouldn't wear it, but you know what I'm saying? You could just say, oh, your hair looks really good on you, right? Because you may not wear it. But it's like, give it in a genuine way. And then what I was going to say is make sure that you are able to receive compliments. You know how many people, you know, I've given compliments to, and then they just don't know how to say thank you. Like, it's almost like they don't know how to respond to it. So just make sure that you're able to receive the compliment as well as give the compliment. The next tip is to show yourself love. So I talked about this a little bit with exercise, but I also want to address, you know, just getting yourself, putting effort into yourself and how you look. So I would say that this might be more of a bonus tip, because, you know, it does have to do with actually doing something to you. So it's not necessarily naturally, but, you know, maybe you want to do something to your hair, do your nails, take a bubble bath, get a massage. These are all things that can make you feel more beautiful, right? I know for me, when my toes are done, I just feel beautiful. I feel, you know what I'm saying? And it could be in the wintertime. Nobody's seeing my toes, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like me knowing that they're done. I'm like, I'm cute, you know? And it's so true though. And I remember seeing another girl, she did a video and she was saying, you know, having new undergarments makes her feel more beautiful. So these are things that actually do work. This is, like I said, this is more of an outside thing. You may have to put money into that. But I just want to encourage you, you know, to invest in yourself. You know, we put so much into our families, into our kids, our educations and things like that. So use wisdom with what you do. But hey, we all need some extra TLC sometimes. So I want to encourage you to do that. Even now in this quarantine, find something that you can do for yourself. Last tip is basically be yourself. There is nothing more attractive than you just being you. And I mean, sometimes, speaking from experience, you know, sometimes I would fall into the category of just acting into the category of whatever somebody expected me to do. So if they expected me to be silly, I would be extra silly. You know, if they expected me to be chill, I'd be super chill. Like, yeah, you know, I could be like one of the guys, you know what I'm saying? And part of these things, these are all things that are like me, but I don't have to put on for anybody, right? So you shouldn't have to put on airs. You shouldn't have to kind of go up and down from how you are. You should always be able to be yourself, because God created you exactly how you're supposed to be. Now, this is not saying that you don't tweak things. You know, you be like, yeah, I got an attitude, and that's how you just gonna have to deal with it. You know, I just come correct all the time. Like, nah, you know, let the Lord kind of trim you and prune you. You know what I'm saying? But he created you the way that you are. So don't ever try to hide that or change that because maybe you admire or you're looking at someone else and you like something about them. That would be a compliment that you give to them. But that's not something that you take and internalize like, oh, I wish I was that. You know, be confident in who you are. And this confidence doesn't necessarily come from how you look, right? It just comes from an inner knowing. So you have to know who it is that God created you to be. You know, whether you have on a dress or you got on sweats, whether you have a new hairstyle and you're kind of like still trying to fill it out, you can still rock that confidence. I remember talking to a friend, and she was saying like her husband didn't mind her cutting her hair short because he liked how she owned the look, you know what I mean? And y'all know, like when somebody is confident and they could just, you know, it's like, dang, like how you say, I would never be able to do that, right? I said like, but this is like a real thing. Like you're like really thinking like not in a backhanded way, like, oh, I wish I could do that. But what is it? It's their confidence that's just like, dang, you know what I'm saying? Like you are owning that. And that's how we have to be in every area of our lives. I remember, I have a friend, and she's like this. Like, I feel like she is always herself. No matter who she's around, she is always herself, whether it's in a professional setting, in a chill setting, with adults or with kids. She is always herself. And I love that about her. And that's something that, you know, enhances her beauty. You know what I mean? Because she's secure in who she is. And there's nothing that could count more for that. You know, that's priceless when you really know who you are. And I say that because I've gone through the time of not knowing who I was, you know, so now I can appreciate how God has made me and my personality and things like that. So if nothing else, you know, start cultivating that, you know, who it is that you are. Start just trying to be yourself. Sometimes for me, I'm still working on that in certain groups or crowds. You know, it's like, oh, you know, I don't feel completely myself, so I have to like really work hard at it. But just embrace who it is that you are. You know, if you're quiet, it's okay, you know, but don't be afraid to speak up. If you're loud and boisterous, that's fine. But know that you can tame yourself if you need to, you know. So it's like knowing yourself and being confident in that, but also realizing, you know, areas and opportunities that you have to grow. These are all things, ladies, that can naturally enhance your beauty, and really they're just practical. You know, I always like to be as practical as possible, especially when it comes to the word of God, so you can just apply it to your natural lives. And I believe that these tips will help you in that. You know, sometimes we get so caught up in what we look like and how we're being seen that we forget about the small things that we can do. Smiling, drinking our water, you know, the natural things of exercising, giving those compliments, and then just having the confidence to be yourself. These are all things that are enhancing your beauty. And if you're single, you know, these are things, especially that confidence and smiling and just, you know, being more welcoming. These are all things that your husband will notice about you. You know, if you're being welcoming, then he's gonna notice that. If you're making sure that you're showing yourself love, then he'll show you love in return. So that's just a little tidbit for you. But I will talk to y'all very soon. Y'all stay strong out here in these streets. And I love you.